All right, so we're doing behind the scenes with facilities this morning. And so I'd like to just turn it right over to our Director of Facilities Operations, Andy Kropp. We figured since he would be maskless on the Zoom, because he's in his office by himself, we would show you the Andy that we see walking around the halls these days. So you're on.
Hi, folks. Thanks very much for joining us. We appreciate it very, very much. And this is going to be just a behind the scenes of what Hillside Village is and does to keep the place safe and keep us running in a secure fashion. There are quite a few doors that folks normally don't get to go behind. And that includes pretty much everybody on this call. A lot of it, Kim took these pictures and she had no idea what doors were going to be open. And it's kind of interesting when you see behind the scenes to think of what goes on to make a joint run. Just like the kitchen, if you were on that call, you saw some of the behind the scenes of the kitchen. Well, most folks just see the plate comes out, sets on their table, and that's it. They don't understand what goes behind making it safe and secure and functional to the highest levels. This is a fairly large place. We're about 368,000 square feet. And to give you an idea, we have approximately 1,758 windows in the place. And that's a lot of glass to clean. And we do that for you. And housekeeping does it, maintenance does it. There's a lot of folks that work in facility operations and facilities. There's different departments that were just up on the screen that you can see what encompasses our team. And we are a team. Everybody works together. We don't really have many barriers. There's security that's been out doing mowing. There's transportation, same thing. We've got laundry, doing housekeeping, janitorial. He's pretty much a janitor, but he enjoys doing other things as well. You'll see Bill, who's the janitor for the large building. He's got a couple of devices that run down the main halls, and they vacuum a lot of carpet and do a lot of things for him that normally you would do at home with your arm and your strength. He's got a powered vacuum, which is kind of cool. So as you see, maintenance, we have a crew that tends to just about everything that is going to break, from light bulbs to actually we're flipping some mattresses today, to painting walls, to doing taking care of leaks, anything, hanging pictures, and that's a maintenance call. Security, we have 24/7 and 365. That's here all the time. Housekeeping, we've got a team of great housekeepers and getting more on. And we take care of making sure that the place, all the apartments are neat and clean. And the housekeepers also do help a little bit in the common areas as well. Grounds and landscaping, we have great help with grounds and landscaping from the residents. There's a passionate group that is involved in making sure that our place looks the best. That includes trails. We've got a great trails committee, and gardening. We've got a greenhouse. We've got areas that are raised beds that we'll be improving upon, and there's a passionate group there. Our transportation, we've got a bus and a car, a Flex that we use to take folks to appointments, and right now actually to grocery shopping in different areas. Laundry, we take care of the predominance of that laundry is done over at the health center, but we also do all of the tablecloths and everything, the napkins now. IT, we take care of the IT for the place. That means phones, television, computers, and wireless, and I'll explain more about that when the slide is up. So that's about that. And if you want to move on. So this is an aerial view of us really a little while ago, before we were so green. I think this was early spring, and it gives a great overview. The building to the left is the Woodside Apartments. The main building, you can see there's 4 wings, and those wings are named. I still have a hard time remembering them because I think of them from the fire department and the construction aspect. The building that, the finger, if you will, the wing to the far right is the north wing. What's the name of that?
Barrett.
Barrett. So, and then it goes from there, that's the north. The building tremendously to the north with the green roof is our barn. And we'll get more into that as well. We own the property that's across the road as well. And the other building that the arrow is on right now is our health center. So all of the folks that I just mentioned on our team also tend to that building as well. So it's not just to the independent living in the main buildings and the wings and in Woodside, but we tend to the health center as well and all the grounds. So we can move on. So that's where I am right now. And I look very much like that picture. If you can see my face, I'm quite sunburned, and it's kind of tough. This is still a work in progress and still finding space to set up an organized spot, but it suffices for us right now. And I love that. This is our shop, and one of the shops. We actually have a few, but this is where the majority of we meet in the morning after our morning huddle. We have a full huddle every morning with our entire team, and that starts at 8. And then if maintenance needs to brush up on something, we'll come here, and that is where we store some stuff, and we do keying. We take care of all the keys and locks, and fine work in this area. Andy, and if you notice that sign that she's happily pointing out, that's Prospect Place. We're the oldest nursing home organization within the state of New Hampshire. And as I understand it, it was created for the wives of Civil War veterans. And so we're quite proud of that, and are really proud to continue that wonderful heritage. So this is a computer that resides in the shop. It's a building management system. And I don't even know if Walter has seen this. This shows us the temperature and functionality of all of the rooftop units. They're called RTUs. It shows areas that are too warm, too cold, just right, kind of like the 3 bears. And it shows the different CO2s in areas. We can control that. We can control humidity throughout the facility. And it gives us alarms if something goes wrong. So this is kind of the nerve center of that system.
Yeah, Walter, chime in.
So Andy, does that give you control over the humidity and temperature in individual units, or only in public areas?
Thank you, Walter. I was just going to go there. Hopefully there was a slide that's coming up. But no, folks can control their individual units completely independently of the common areas. Heating and air conditioning is done just by the thermostat on the wall. So if you want it 60 degrees or 80 degrees, that's completely up to you. So this, thank you, Walter, this one slide there that says install with pride by Denron, those are the valves that are in place, usually in the ceilings of the common areas, also in some apartments. It controls the hot water and the cold water and the propane within the facility. These are all the shutoff valves that are in the ceilings. On the left-hand side is an old picture of the barn area, and that pretty much shows the outline of that area. That's also our plans room. This is where our architectural drawings and our different plans for the building are for reference should we need to find where a widget is installed, if you will. This is how we're going to find where they are and how it's constructed. So this shows some of the power that comes into the place. We do have quite a bit of energy that runs in through here. We're now part of a co-op or an organization that is trying to diversify and utilize non-fossil and move towards sustainability. And this was just the slide to trigger that. And this is how we run a lot of this place is through major power. That's the control room for the ILU, the independent living units and the community center. This is someplace no one ever goes, and you can see it's quite empty for reasons. And the device that's there on the left-hand side near the back is the generator power. The generator takes care of power for the community center, and when we lose power, we have done that, and it comes on and does well. We are on the same restoration priority as Cheshire Medical. So we're considered a vital building and a vital property, so that we come before just about anything else, right up there with the hospital. This is where we'll talk IT for a moment. And on the right-hand side is where the IT comes in. That is our fiber optic cable that comes into the building, and that runs just all of the IT and all the phone lines that we have. It's amazingly small, and it's about the same size, honestly, as what runs underneath the oceans. Fiber optic is crazy powerful, and it runs our phones, as I said, computers, our wireless internet, and our cameras. There's a couple of other things it runs. So that device to the right, the device to the left is our part of our IT system, and that's our internet. And you can see there's also this is the progression. So up to the upper left is our internet system. Then it goes, that's the main data frame. It goes to the right-hand panel, which is an intermediate data frame. There's 16 of these throughout the facility. Then it goes into the apartment. And in your closet is this panel that distributes it then throughout the apartment. So that shows where it comes in and the way that it goes out to your apartments. And we take care of all of that in-house. We're pretty good at it. We've gotten much better. And we also have backup of professionals should we need it. And this, on that left-hand side as well, you'll see it's part of our help call system. That is part of the security, that if there's a button, that where the arrow is right now, though, that's our cameras. So no, you're right. That's the help call. Okay. So help call is in the bathrooms, that if there's, if something happens, you pull the string, it goes immediately to the security office, which you'll see later, and also to the security phone, and it goes to my phone. And so we're very aware of anything that occurs should anybody need help in their apartments. And there's also a button system that can be had that you can wear, that if you push the button and you need help, somebody shows up usually within 2 minutes. So this is one of the dehumidification units, and one of the very back end of the place. This is how we control our humidity within the facility and make sure that it's comfortable. And you can see there's filter boxes there. We are a very, very highly efficient and facility to move air and filter our air so that it is clean at all times. And this is the boiler room for our main facility as well. There's one of these boilers over in the Woodside apartment, and there's a couple over in the health center. There's 4 of these boilers. They're very high efficiency that provide the heating water for all of the common spaces. The heating hot water. And on the lower right-hand side are the electronic controllers that are connected to that building management system that allow us to make sure that everything runs efficiently. And it's surprising when you consider the size of our building that 4 of these little things run and take care of the heat for the building. This is our security and the fire safety. One of the important things in any building of this size is fire safety. And we have a fire panel. That's the big red thing there that allows us to monitor and ensure that CO2 and also the, CO and the fire, smoke, and heat are monitored on a 24/7 basis. The response time for the fire department is about 6 minutes from the station to our facility. And the panel or the slide there in the upper right is the communications that the fire department has with every area of refuge, which are by all of the elevators. If folks need help, they pick up that phone. The fire department, this is where they'll stand as the command center, and they'll be right there to pick the phone up and talk to anybody and send somebody to help. And the lower left is part of our security, is our security office with our radios if we need to distribute those if there's any kind of emergency. And above those are some of the monitoring panels that security checks and makes sure of. There's generators and different alarm systems that are there that we make sure we take care of. This is janitorial. It's our hidden elevator. Those are some of the machines I was talking about that Bill, our janitor, pushes around. We call the one in the center there, the bigger one, the Zamboni. That takes care of the floors, and it does a great job at it. And this is a hidden elevator. There's a couple of these within the facility. And the reason I wanted to show you this is just folks don't get to see behind the scenes of an elevator very often. And so that's what it looks like. Obviously, folks have seen the outside of an elevator. Hopefully, we'll have inside of an elevator.
Well, that might not be the next slide, Andy. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I got a little mixed up.
That's all right.
What's next?
So this is the heating this is hot water for the facility. You can see on the upper right-hand side, that's the water heaters. It's a little bit different than your home. They're propane, high efficiency, and high output water heaters. And that is, again, part of the building management system that we make sure that all of those are efficient and operating to standards. And the piping system on the left-hand side just gives you an idea of the complexity of part of the hot water and cold water system within the facility. This is circulated throughout the building so that when you turn on your hot water, you should get it very, very quickly. So this is our pool. Wait a second, it says indoor swimming pool. Do we have an outdoor pool?
I don't, it was late.
Oh my goodness. We do have a pond. We've got a couple of those.
There you go.
So this is the pool equipment. In the upper right-hand corner, you see that large round sphere that is filled, that is our filtration. It is filled with glass beads that are crushed and formed Heineken bottles. I guess the German beer makers have a special bottle that attracts the anything that's in a pool, and it attracts in there, and then it moves down through the chlorination system. So that is the AccuTab that you see. And then on maybe there's another slide. And then as that device just to the left, yes. So the device just to the left of the AccuTab is an ultraviolet sanitizer. So that filtration system with chlorination and ultraviolet sanitation, and on the bottom as well, there's gas injected to the water so that our pool has less chlorine than the average city water system. It is extremely, extremely low chlorine. The monitoring or the computer controlled system on the left-hand side is what ensures that that titration of the chlorine is as low as possible to have a residual and make sure that it's clean water. It's really a great system. It's a great pool. We keep it about 85 degrees. And there's Chris and Bob working on it. And we had a bit of a problem with one of the circulator pumps, and we were able to go ahead and change that out ourselves. These two guys, all the guys really are great and are adept at doing just about anything that we need done here.
Here's the elevator.
There's the elevator. So that in the upper right-hand side, you'll see that every elevator has that kind of control panel. Each elevator is a computer-controlled and device in and of itself. And our elevators are hydraulically operated. It's not like it used to be with cables. So as the call for the elevator comes up, the hydraulics push it and empties the tank. And as it comes down, it fills the tank. So there's never a concern of a cable breaking or any of that nature. It is a very, very safe system. This is, again, the plans room, but it's also the sprinkler room. I would hesitate to say that a lot of folks on this call do not have sprinklers within their homes, but that's not the case now. Every apartment and every area within our facility has sprinklers, and they push out 40 gallons of water a minute should the head break and be required. It will put out the fire, and so that this building is incredibly safe in that fashion so that there's never a worry should something happen like that. We just ask that you don't put any hangers on the on these, because it's terrible if they break. It really is. Pardon.
I feel like that was directed at Walter.
So
Never broke one.
This is our propane tank. This is what we use for heating hot water for showers, and also for the heating of the whole place. Propane is a very safe, very economic way to heat. And we have many safety devices in place to ensure that there's not any danger. And we're all trained as to shutoffs and what propane smells like. So that's pretty easy. We get in the in the cold of winter, we'll get delivery about every other day.
Wow.
This is the underground walkway that goes from our second floor of the, well, I guess it's the excuse me, community center. It goes across to the health center so that folks can walk between the two in the middle of winter if it's cold, or in the heat of summer if they wish, in air conditioned comfort. It's a pretty neat thing. It goes underneath Wyman Road from one side to the other. And this is one of the, there's two of these that provide some sunlight down into the tunnel. There is going to be a art exhibition that's going to go through the tunnel. So that's going to be kind of neat. Back to IT. This is our phone connection. So you've got the internet, or excuse me, the fiber optic comes into the building, and then it is transformed magically into copper. And this goes out to all of your apartments, and we take care of this system as well, and make sure that all the phone connections are made. This is R2D2 is what I like to call it, and that is that is the brains of the help call system, and we can monitor that. And if there's ever any issues, it alerts us that there's a problem with any device. It will call and tell us that this battery is low or this device has been lost, and it's a very, very secure and stalwart system. Excuse me. So we have city water. We have Keene Water here, and this is how it comes into the building, and it's distributed throughout. The water is moving continuously through the pipes. There's never any stagnant dead ends in it, and it is as fresh as Keene Water can be.
Oops. Sorry.
Going backwards?
Yeah, I guess so. Sorry. There we go.
This is our satellite TV. That's how we get television. And we have 50 channels, 52 actually, right? Is it 52? I can never keep track. So we've got a lot of TV channels. And each, you may have cable or a satellite at home. Each one of those devices with that little white label is one channel. So we make sure that we monitor them all. And we know right away if there are any problems. Those green bars that are on those receivers turn yellow if the sound goes out. They turn red if the picture and sound goes out. And we can monitor it with that TV that's on the wall to the left. So, and it is it's a fairly efficient system. And we've had some troubles initially, but it's all smooth sailing. And we'll show you how that comes into the building when Kim and I climb up on the roof.
And Andy, I think we should mention one of those TV channels is an internal TV channel.
Oh yes, thank you. One is done Touchtown, and that has a continuous loop of different announcements, menus, exercise classes, some great music to put you to sleep. I know that because I had to do overnight security when we had an issue, and I had to stand up. It was so soothing. And almost passed right out. The other channel is a guide channel. Any guesses what this is? Walter, what is this?
Well, that looks like a waste pipe at the bottom. And I have no
Close.
idea.
Oh, you lost your sound, your volume there. So
I was thinking the bottom pipe was a waste line, and then I don't know what that rusty looking thing is on the top.
So it is called Hillside Village for a reason. We're built into a hillside, and that is a soil nail that goes about 35 feet into the soil, and it's part of the bulwark to make sure the walls are retained and sustained and stable. So that was just a fun little oddity that I asked him to take a picture of. Definitely behind the scenes. So this is Paul with his little cart there in the center, hanging some pictures. It seems you would think that hanging pictures is a simple thing. Well, we really take great pride in making sure that your place looks as good as you wish it to be. And that means centering, leveling, and doing what you wish for us to make happen. And I think, is that Carol?
It's Karen.
It's Karen. Okay. And so she has great pictures that she loves, and they're meaningful to her, and they're meaningful to us. And so Paul and all of us do take great pride in making sure that happens. That's Mike there to the right. And that's in back of the Memory Garden, or excuse me, in the Health Center in the Memory Garden. We put that sail up so that folks could enjoy that area without being overheated. We're redoing the gardens that are in there, and you can see some of the plants that are going to go in it to the right. We're taking We've taken all the plants that were there out. There were a lot of shrubs that were very similar, and we're putting in things that are going to provide some variety. And to the left there is the sail that is in between a carport and the building, so that folks can have some shade to sit outside. And even in our COVID time, it's a great place to go out and just breathe some fresh air together.
More security. Mm-hmm.
Oh, security office again. And there's Lisa. So that's one of our security folks. That's Lisa. She works evenings. And she is not only do we do security, but when you move in the boxes that you produce, we take care of, and they magically disappear. And a lot of times that's on evenings, and Lisa takes care of that. Also, we distribute packages, UPS, FedEx, and that kind of thing. Security will take care of that. Sometimes transportation will do that as well. And this is the security office, and there's transportation. That's Terry. Security office there, you saw part of the camera system. We do have cameras, a number of cameras throughout the facility for documentation and safety. That's our screening table, making sure that folks stay safe. We've been an extremely safe and COVID-free facility and property, and we're very thankful for that. And it's due to the employees and all of our residents really paying attention to the best practices to make sure that we stay safe. And there's Terry. So this is housekeeping. So we've got great folks in housekeeping. We have fun, and we make sure that the place is clean and sanitary, and they take great pride in making sure that is personalized, and nothing seems to faze them. And we have great communication with the residents as well as staff. And so that's Erica and Candy there.
And I would just say, Andy, one of the things I love about our staff is that everyone is so willing to share things other than just what they do for work every day. I love Candy. Everybody loves Candy, I think. And Candy she loves bugs. So we get as much education from her about bugs and caterpillars and butterflies. And it's just awesome. I think that people bring other gifts with them besides just what they do in their job description. So
Candy, thank you. Thank you, Tracy. Candy actually brought in a couple of chrysalis, and we have milkweed. She brought those in, and she actually caterpillars to chrysalis to butterflies. And actually the residents were able to see that in a aquarium out in the front lobby. The other thing that security does, Andy, well, there's another Andy, he's nicknamed A2. He has put up a hummingbird feeder out by the reception desk, and it's just crazy the amount of hummingbirds that it has attracted. It's really been a fun thing to watch. Talking about laundry again, this is Diane, and Diane is in the process here of sewing masks, and she did a tremendous job of sewing masks for staff to make sure that we all stay safe, and that the residents as well stay safe. So we're real proud of her. She did a good job. This is pictures of a number of the plants that are around the area. And on the left-hand side and the lower, these are some of the plants that we got, and the right-hand side and the lower, these are some of the plants that we got from a local greenhouse that we distributed and throughout the property and offered for sale at a very reasonable price for our residents as well, so that they did not have to go out. This was during height of COVID. And so that they did not have to go out to any public spaces, we brought these to them. The foliage plants that you see are part of our indoor scape. And there's residents right now, there's a half a dozen residents right now repotting these to larger pots and putting new soil in pots up on our loading dock. And they're gonna be distributed throughout the facility and the property so that we can have some green as we go into the autumn and the winter. They're in the pool, by the way. And this is some of the stuff that occurred outside. Those anybody guess what they are on the lower right-hand side? Those are potato sorters. Yes, they are. Those are actually from the old farm that was here on the property. And that's going to be part of the historical display, I'm told. And that's neat devices. They weigh a ton. They weigh a ton. And what you see in the plants there, those are part of a straw bale garden that one of the residents devised or brought to our attention, and we were able to get it together. And the residents have been tending to these and actually producing tomatoes. One of the residents, this is out behind the barn, and one of the residents, we have another group of these behind one of the carports that produces for our kitchen. And so she was out this morning harvesting tomatoes that are going to be used this evening in the salads that will be presented to the residents. This is part of our barn stuff and our landscaping crew and some of our equipment. This is inside the barn that you saw in the earlier slide. It's quite a great facility that will be, I'm sure, transformed in the future for higher use than storage. But right now it is what it is. It shows our green van, which we use just as a kind of a utility vehicle, and our new tractor, our new old tractor. And that's been a great piece of equipment to have, and our bus, so that's used for transportation to events and for sightseeing. And this is a wood shop, and this was something the residents built and claimed as their own, and it's still in the stages of transformation. But there's a lot of great equipment that residents have donated, and they have built things, benches, shelving, just a number of different things that have been put to use throughout the facility. We're very thankful and very grateful for everything that's been done with this space. Again, that's part of our transportation, showing a different view of the bus, and also the Flex, which is in the lower right. And that's been, these vehicles have been, especially the Flex has been used quite a bit during our present situation to take folks to medical appointments and to go get food and to pick up things that folks have requested so that our residents can remain safe and healthy. This is part of the restoration that was done in the tavern. The guys built this in the wood shop with the help of some residents. And the wood that was used was reclaimed barn board from the old property and farm that was here. So that it's kind of neat that we were able to do that. We created a pizza oven space in the tavern, and so that's new. And as well as pizza, there's being I'm sure that Aaron and Kristen mentioned that, and as well they're doing baked goods out of there as well. Trash, everybody makes it, and we have to deal with it, so you don't have to. And this is part of our recycling program, and all of these bins are usually full when they're taken out with paper and bottles and all the recyclables as just like you would do. Our recycling program is managed by Waste Management, and it's commingled recyclables and is done with as best use as we can find. That's part of this is our trash. So it's a compactor that the trash comes down that chute on the left-hand side. On a few of them, there's refuse rooms as well, where it's just trash bins, and then it goes here. It's compacted and then taken up to the dump. And this is for the main trash removal. This is a nice aerial again of the facility, showing that the roof, and a lot of times folks don't get to go up on that roof, but Kim did, and I'm hoping there's some pictures.
Yes, we're getting to the roof pictures, so I think
okay.
Set up.
There's also some pictures of what's inside those roofs, and
yeah.
that's something that nobody gets to see. And this is how you get up there. And this is what it looks like up inside underneath those shingles. And we get up on there to make sure that there are all the rooftop units and everything are safe, and everything is secure up on there. That's above all the wings.
Sorry, I got a little carried away with these. Let me see.
That's okay.
Here we go. Here's the next up to the roof.
And this shows part of the space that's above our main dining room, and it shows heating pipes, and I think there's some air conditioning duct up there as well. And now this is going out on the roof. That's an aerial though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an aerial from one of the guys that had a drone that he shared these with us. And who's going to sing up on the roof? Okay, never mind.
It's in the head.
This is just part of the equipment that lives up on the roof that keeps our facility running. Those are vents from the kitchen and air conditioning units as well. And that's our DirecTV. That's how we get it all. Comes in through that, and sometimes during the heaviest snows, it's a little difficult, but it clears up quickly. And you can see Mount Monadnock there in the upper right-hand side. That view is from a number of the apartments as well. That's more from up on the roof, and just some of the space you'll never see unless you're up there. That's a great picture of Monadnock there on the right. This is looking back at that space from one of the other rooftop units, and gives you some perspective of where we just were and then looking back at it. And this on the left is one of the units that takes care of the auxiliary heat and air conditioning for one of the wings.
And that is the end of the slides. I had to bring that Monadnock view back in one more time.
That's
I will
beautiful.
pretend that you can see this view from an apartment. This is a little, this is the roof view.
That's beautiful.
So as we open everybody's microphones up for questions, I just wanted to thank Andy for hanging in there with me. I had a little bit of technical difficulty this morning and didn't really get a chance to put the slides in a very good order. So everything was a surprise, but it worked out okay.
No worries.
So, and if you're not, so does anybody have any questions for Andy? We'll start with that. I see a few of you are still muted, so just remember that if you want to ask questions.
Walter, what did I miss? You're muted.
Maybe we have to unmute.
All right, I should be unmuted now.
Yes.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Well, I just made some notes as you were talking. Internet and Wi-Fi, that's a big deal for most of us. And so we have two speeds available, as I understand it. And the first speed is fine for pretty much everybody. And then you can upgrade to a little bit higher speed. And that's, my wife and I both, all we do is stream, and that's fine. And so there's a Wi-Fi unit in every unit, in every apartment, and it has you know, a blue light on it, so you know it's working. And it's, if I understand it right, Andy, it's a VPN. It's like a virtual private network for every unit. So you can do your banking, you can do your credit card, you can do all that stuff.
And there is, and Walter, thank you for bringing that up. It is, there is no wired internet. It is all done wirelessly. So the devices need to be fairly new. We can't have some 35-pound 1980 tower and expect it to work via Wi-Fi. That has to be done. And same with TVs, if I may go there. The TVs need to be newer as well, because we have a great new system that's high definition. And they need to be programmable TVs.
Yeah, and it works fine once you figure it out. You know, you have to have the MAC address and all that stuff, but it's not a big deal. It's not that hard once you know what you have to look for.
And we make sure facilities goes in and makes sure that all of that is functional and operational
Yeah.
for you.
Paul is great. He comes in. If you got a problem, he'll be there and help you figure it out. So the other thing, there are a few things. The button system, you mentioned that. You know, you go into the bathroom and you can pull the string, but every day you need to push that button too. And that's really a safety thing, so that Hillside knows that, you know, you're came down for breakfast, or you know, and if you don't push that button, then around noontime or whenever it is, somebody will call just to make sure you're there. The pool, Andy mentioned all the filtration and the stuff involved with that. And I would say it's pretty impressive because, you know, normally when you walk down an aisle or a hallway past a swimming pool, you are overwhelmed with the smell of chlorine. You don't get that here, which I find very, I mean, you can smell it, but it's not overwhelming at all. And when you're in the water, you don't even know there's chlorine there. It's really quite a system. It's pretty sophisticated. Andy, you mentioned sprinklers, and those are in every room. I mean, there's a sprinkler in my bathroom. There's a sprinkler in there's one right up here behind me. So that's, you know, it's as safe as it can be. I did have a question, Andy. Is the you know, you show that attic area above the apartments. Is that sprinkler?
No, it's not. There's really nothing up there that can cause any kind of fire, and there's no motors or anything up in those areas.
Okay,
and
so just
there are within those attic areas, they are alarmed. They've got detectors in those areas, as are all of the ventilation system, and has detectors built into them.
Thank you. Telephone, you can keep your phone number. I guess you probably already know that, and just, you know, transfer it to your unit. Just a couple other picture hanging. Paul again is great, and that, like, if you got something heavy, well, Andy doesn't want us driving nails or putting screws on the walls, because there's all kinds of weird stuff behind those walls.
Like we just showed, yep.
Yeah, so it's best especially if you've got something heavy. Paul knows what to do. He puts a couple of screws in the wall. I mean, your heavy stuff gets hung properly and safely. Landscaping, a couple of those pictures, especially the aerial ones, and then there was one from outside, it looked pretty bare. Well, landscaping is a work in progress, as Andy will admit. And as he mentioned, I think we've got a lot of people in the community who are really interested in landscaping and gardening and trying to improve things. So yeah, we've got some spots that really need work, but Andy knows about them. The residents facilities liaison committee knows about them, and the landscape committee knows about them. So, you know, it's all going to get there. It just may not look so great right now. And I'll put in a plug for Candy as well. Candy's one of the housekeepers, and she's the monarch butterfly guru, or the whisperer. She's the monarch butterfly whisperer. Yes, she gave us a monarch caterpillar that we raised in our balcony, and then one day I looked out there and it had escaped, and we thought it had run away, but actually it had built its chrysalis underneath a table out on the patio. So we're keeping an eye on that thing, because when it emerges as a butterfly, we want to be there. And birds, there are a lot of birds around here. In one of the ripples, which is our communication thing, twice weekly, I think Ted had put out a whole list, or somebody had put out a whole list of birds that had been observed here. And, you know, it was 2 columns long. And there are a lot of birds around here if you pay attention. So that's really all of the notes I had taken. Thank you. I'd be happy to take any questions anybody might have.
Well, you know, I kept thinking, oh, I need to ask Andy a question, but as soon as I had a question, he answered it before I asked it. So, but I just think, you know, from our point of view, funny, I was going to go up on the roof. I thought I was going to go up on the roof with Andy and Kim, and then I saw those photos and I don't think I would have made it. But it's really neat for us. I mean, I learned a lot in this today, and I know this building really, really well. And but to see the inner workings of it, I think it really, really speaks to why we're able to provide a completely maintenance-free lifestyle for the people who live here. I mean, you can see everything that's in place, and it's pretty amazing. So, well, if there's no other questions, we do appreciate you being here with us. So just a reminder, here we are, the marketing people. If anybody wants to reach out to any of us with other questions, or if you'd like to do a virtual tour, we are doing virtual tours right now, and happy to take you to see some apartments, or we will not take you up on the roof during a virtual tour, but and we'd love to hear from you. And then that ends our series of behind the scenes. But next week, we do have another event to put in a plug for our Prospect Woodward Health Center across the street. Joy is going to be hosting a virtual open house, and that's on Tuesday. And so I know she would love to have you attend if that's something that would interest you, and you can see how to respond there. You can respond to any one of us for any event. So. But we would love to see you there, and hope you keep checking back on our website for more things coming, and just appreciate your time and your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.